Good morning. I have to start with thanking our fans. We set a single match attendance record Friday night, overall weekend, home opening weekend records. And I mean, you tend to expect the crowd to go down a little bit Saturday just because it's the football home opener and then Sunday being Sunday, but it was packed all 3 days. And so big shout out to everyone that came. And then weekend overall, I mean, you can't ask for a better start, undefeated 3-0. But with that being said, there's a lot we need to get better at. We played a 3, a 4, and a 5-set match, and there's a lot of things that I loved from what I saw, but there is a lot that we need to improve on. We had way too many unforced errors, serves being one of them. Our ratio is okay. We had 22 to aces to our 47 missed serves, but I would like to bring the missed serves down quite a bit. When we start playing, better teams, those are going to bite us in the butt in the end. So we got to do a better job of getting those in play.
Although not necessarily the desired results of like having the 3, the 4, the 5 set. How important, though, is it for the newcomers you have coming in to kind of experience those situations and trying to get out of them?
Yeah, no, I think it's huge. I think it's really good for us to experience that early on. We saw 3 different teams and played all different sets. But one thing that was very present in all of them is that we have a lot of fight in us. We didn't give up. We continue to fight, and we found ways to win.
You talked a little bit about the service game being something to be improved. What do you see kind of the big thing? Because on one night you had 10 aces, and you started the set with just ace after ace after ace, but in the end, the errors kind of had more errors than aces. Did you notice something common with the service game?
Yeah, I think it's mental at that point. When you start missing so much, like I had said, a couple of our girls have the yips at this point. Like they're going back there, not with the competitive mindset that they're going to serve a tough ball. It's more of the negative side of please just get it in. And so if you're thinking that when you step back there, I mean, you're already putting yourself in a position to miss that serve. And so we've got to work through the mental side of it because once we do, I think we'll be really good from the service line, even if we are still missing a few balls. It just can't be 1 ace to 10 missed serves. It needs to be 5 aces to 10 missed serves.
You talked about from the mental standpoint, just how good does starting off 3-0 help in those things of, allowing the players to feel like we might be in a tough spell here in a certain set, but we are playing really well and they're able to pick up wins.
I think it's huge. One of the things that I wanted to make sure we did early on was build confidence in this team. Having the season we did last year, only winning 9 matches. One of our players made a comment after we won yesterday that we've already won a third of our matches from last year. And as sad as that is, it's true. But winning is going to build the confidence. Playing in matches that we did this weekend with 3, 4, and 5 sets, fighting back and crawling back in some of those sets, like it's going to build confidence to where they know that they can do it. But it's learning to not put ourselves in the position to where we're having to fight back so much and go to 4 and 5 sets.
Kind of piggybacking on that, you talked about the slow start that you guys had last year. You're 3-0 to start off this year. Again, you talked about some of the mistakes, but from a chemistry team building wise, how much does that help knowing that, hey, yeah, there might be some things we need to work on, but we're doing it coming off of 3 straight wins versus the slow start that we had last season?
Yeah, I think the personality and the relationship that these girls have with each other is something that is helping us push through those matches. I mean, we saw it early on, and it's not typical when you put that many females on a team or even together in any setting. And they've done a really good job, and I think that is going to help us just have a good season and stay together no matter what is happening. But we've got to learn to play UL volleyball. We talk about our standard and expectations. We talk about what our game looks like, and we have to do a better job from start to finish of playing our game.
Of the newcomers that are on the team this weekend, who are some of them that kind of stood out and kind of to you and kind of impressed?
So I was very impressed with Marley. You know, she's gone back and forth from a starting role to coming off the bench, going on the outside, the opposite. She didn't start initially, but she was called upon. She came in, she did her job. And then, throughout the entire weekend, she put up great numbers. So I think from a transfer standpoint, she did really well. Someone that is in a new role, but was here last year, Kennedy Gustafson, she did a phenomenal job, I thought. She was great on the back row. She averaged almost 5 digs a set. She was just shy of that, but she was great there. She was great from the service line. Caitlin and CG, they're still doing great for us. And then our setters are doing good, but we've got to be more consistent in areas, and we've got to get our other outsides a little bit more involved. And I thought first 2 days, Jazz Gaston did really well for us. She stepped up big time the first 2 days. And then yesterday, I think Abby Cunningham did a really good job of coming off the bench and doing what we needed her to in that time.
As you guys head to the road next, what's the one thing you've kind of been trying to impress upon this team as they head to the road?
Right. So our message this week, we met as a staff this morning while they were in weights, and our message right now is consistency. We have to do a better job of being consistent all around. And another message for me is taking more pride in our defense. I think that we did an okay job defending. We didn't defend well at the net, and that's something that we saw, early on in preseason for us. We were blocking really well. And so I told my staff this morning, we're either really good at hitting into a block or just playing 3 different teams that isn't necessarily our style of ball has thrown that off. And so hopefully this weekend we see a little bit more from the defensive side at the net, but I want us to take more pride in our defense. I think, we are scrappy, we are gritty, but I want those numbers to go up. But biggest thing is just consistency overall.
You got challenged against UNO in the last game of the weekend, 3-2. What did that kind of teach you about your girls, knowing that they were in a sort of tough situation and they had to battle back and really push forward versus the first 2 games where, you guys kind of ran away with it at the end?
Right. I think the biggest takeaway is that we prevailed and we can fight. But the message that they have to learn is I think it was going into set 4. So set 3, they had earned 9 of their 21 points. So that means we had 12 unforced errors that we gave them. And so I think that was the one match where we had the most errors. And so again, it's learning that we have to do a better job of taking care of the ball on our side and not having so many unforced errors. Because when we do start seeing teams that are in our conference, we're not going to win the games if we have that many. But the best takeaway is that we were able to find a way to win.
You talked about the attendance. How much do you feel like it's kind of been if you build it, they will come type of thing where you've seen the attendance continually grow for the past few years?
Yeah, I am a huge believer in if you build it, they will come. I think that once people finally have the opportunity to come see us play, they're going to come back. I think it was day 2. My mom's walking into the gym and there was this older couple coming in. They said, "Hey, do you know where the volleyball entrance is? This is our first time." And just to hear that it is people's first time coming. There was someone else that I spoke to that came with some of our donors that he had said this was his first time ever coming to a volleyball match, and he was hooked 3 points in. And so I do think that we will continue to grow our fan base the more that they come, but I was so impressed with our turnout both Saturday and Sunday. I sat back and looked at the stands before we started Sunday, and I was like, this looks like a Friday night match. Like, it was unbelievable. And so I want the fans to know how important it is having them there. I think our energy feeds off of their energy and vice versa. And so I can't thank them enough for coming, and then hope that they continue to come out this season.
How big is that for like the newcomers and the freshmen that you have on this team to come out and see the overwhelming support that you get on a consistent basis? Mm-hmm. How much does that help like their mentality, knowing like, hey, like we have all these people behind us who want to see us come out here and perform at a high level.
No, I think it's huge. You know, we talk about that in the recruiting process, how special playing at EK is. We talk about our fan base being unmatched. We talk about just how electric it is that we have a DJ and the energy is unbelievable. So them seeing it firsthand, you know, Will's been a part of this program. Sarah hasn't. So when she experienced it day one, she was like, oh my God, this is what you guys were talking about. And they have all just praised how fun it's been. And so, again, they help tremendously by showing up.
What about your game has electrified this attendance boost?
I think volleyball in general, it's just it's fast paced. You have to pay attention. There's really no downtime in it. And so, I mean, when you put that together just with our style, we run a fast tempo. It is going to be fun to watch. And then you throw in the music and then our traditions with the dancing between sets 2 and 3. I think there are things that we do that makes it fun for our fans.